What's up guys, welcome to another Scratch tutorial. This is part 4 on how to make a Bouncy Bounce game in Scratch, and in this tutorial I'll be showing you how to make a simple score system and the lasers. And by the way, this project is also shared on my Scratch profile, so you can check it out, links in description. But anyways, without further ado, let's get started. So first, I'm going to have to create the laser. So I'm going to create a new sprite. I'm going to call this sprite laser. And then I'm going to drag in 2 costumes from a backpack. One is going to be the warning costume, and you can just use the text box tool and type it here. And the next is going to be the laser costume, which is just basically a rectangle and inside another rectangle, which is much thicker than the other one inside. And you can make these colors anything you want. And I'll just name this laser. So we want to make the laser warn the player, and then the laser will appear. So I'm going to go and drag it when flag clicked. And we don't want the laser to show, so I'm going to go to looks and drag a hide. And then I'm going to get a forever loop and forever wait. Pick random 1 to 5 seconds. And I'm going to go to control and drag a create a clone of myself. And I'll drag it when I start the clone. I'm going to go and drag a show and switch costume to warning. And also we can go to, let's say, X. We can say pick random -100 to 100. And Y is, -147. And then I'm going to drag a wait 1 second. And then switch costume to warning, and then set Y to 0. And then wait 0.5 seconds, and I'm going to drag to delete this clone. So it just should, I also need to change this to laser. So basically it just has some lasers spawning from random positions and switching the costume to the laser costume. So next we want the player to actually take damage. So I'm going to go create a new variable, and I'll call this variable can die, and then I'll put a question mark, so it's going to be true or false. So I'm going to set can die to false. And then once it switched costume to laser, I'm going to set can die to true. So next I'm going to go into the player sprite. And in the test die block, I'm going to take this out and put another OR. And I'm going to drag an equals operator in the left side of the and. And I'll put the rest stuff back into the OR. So I'm going to check if the player's touching the laser and the can die variable is equal to true. Then we're going to do the normal stuff, which is do the death animation. And let me just hide all these variables, and let's test this out. So, yep, we can die once the laser comes. So that's exactly what we want. And maybe we can add some sound if you want, and I'll add it later, but I won't do it now. But that is good because we have did everything correctly, and yeah. So next we want to create a score system. So I have a sprite from a backpack, And in this sprite, I didn't put any code yet, and I also made a variable called digits, and this variable is selected for the sprite only, so make sure you do that. And then in the costumes, I have the costumes 1 through 9, and then 0. And make sure you name all the costumes the number of the costume, which is, if this is 1, then you name it 1, and then 2. And if this is 0, you name it 0. And make sure to put the 0 after the 9. So I'm going to drag a one flag clicked, and then I'm going to set the digits variable to 0, and then I'm going to go to control and drag a repeat, let's say 10 times, I guess, and create a clone of myself, and make sure to change digits by 1. And I'm also going to drag a hide. Then I'm going to get a when I start as a clone, and I'm going to put a show, and I'm going to drag a forever loop. And forever, let's say the number is going to go over here. So that is go to x 124. So I'm going to have to drag a multiplication operator and a subtraction operator. And I'm also going to name this sprite, let's say score. And instead of a subtraction, I'm going to drag addition, which is a plus, and then I'm going to put this in the x, and then put this in the left side of the plus operator, and I'm going to drag a digits, and I'm going to put a value in here. I'm going to say 11, depends on the width over here, which is 13, but I'm going to do 11 just to test it out. And x is which is where you're going to go, so which is 124. So next I'm going to go to control and drag a if-else statement, and I'm going to check if the length of digits is less than, the length of score, and we don't have a score variable, so I'm just going to create one real quick. And it's going to be for all sprites. And in the player sprite, I'm going to set score to 0. And I'm going to drag the score variable here, and then the digits variable over here. Then I'm going to put a hide, and then I'll drag a show in the else. And I'm going to scroll up and drag a switch costume to, and go to operators and drag a letter, digits of score. So now what this does, it basically, if the score is, let's say 100, it will, this code will make it so that the number is 100. And this only happens for 10-digit numbers, so if it's not a 10-digit number, then it will only show the first 10 digits. And I'm just going to do 10. You can change it around if you want, but I'm just going to make it safe, so if there was a really good player, then probably get more than a 10-digit number, then yeah. So now I think our score system should work, but the score variable does not change, so it will not really do anything. So in this repeat until loop, I'm going to drag a change, and I'm going to switch this to score, and I'm going to change it by 1, or you can change it if you want. I'm going to say 1. And then if we test it out, as you can see there, the numbers are constantly changing. And if you die, you restart, the numbers reset, and yeah. And it also, once it goes to 99, it switches to 100 like right after that. So yeah, our score system works and the lasers worked. Awesome. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe too if you haven't already. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next Scratch tutorial. Peace out.